Good afternoon, everybody. This is Terry Levin at Awesome Dynamic, welcoming you to the Awesome Dynamic Show. Glad you could join us today. I want to start off real quick by introducing everybody. I have Paul Dewarian, the owner of our company. I have Blake, our SEO and Amazon specialist, and Robin, our SEO specialist as well. We want to get right into our content today because we have a lot to take care of. So I am going to go directly over to Robin, who's going to tell us about today's topic. Robin.
All right, well, today we are covering content marketing and SEO. So you may have some content marketing now, which is probably your blog, maybe you have a news section, some page content, but you really want to combine that with your SEO. And three ways you can do that. You can have an in-house department, but that can get expensive. And in terms of objective standpoint, there could be some creative blocks there. You can have an employee or a third party train on SEO, so you'd have an outside company train one of your employees, or just if you hire on someone part-time, and then they can take care of your SEO. Or you can hire a full-time SEO staff as a third-party company. So lots of different options to structure your SEO. You can also combine a few of these. And then what would you recommend, Paul or Terry, for if you are a mid-range business or mid-sized business? What kind of SEO?
Well, there's a couple ways, as you said, there's a couple ways that we go with these kind of things. One of them, a lot of it's depending on budget, and the other thing it's depending on is time. So we get a lot of people who say, I just don't have the time, you do it. They want to bring us in and just turn us loose and let us do it. One of the things we do that I think is very unique is the consulting model, where we go ahead and they have somebody there who can dedicate some time, and we're usually talking rough numbers of a minimum of about 20 hours a month that someone should be working on SEO. So if they have somebody there who's savvy enough and has some time, we do a great screen sharing training consulting model where we teach them how to do it. So they're not paying us to do all the work. They're doing a lot of the work themselves. We're just the ones that are giving them the know-how and sort of setting them on the right path. So both of those will work. It's all, like, again, depending on budget and depending on how much personnel you have, what kind of time frame they have. While I'm on, real quick, I did forget one thing I wanted to say, that we do monitor for questions. So you can go right through Google Hangouts and ask questions. We love to answer them and take care of those directly. If you have one, don't be bashful. So I guess both of those options are ones that both of those options are probably going to save you considerable money from bringing someone in on a full-time basis. And, of course, we want to be able to share those depending on the scenario.
I also wanted to hop in on that question, Robin. For a mid-sized business, if you can take someone that's on your staff and make part of their job be something that's consistently done 1 hour a day during the business day, that gets you the 20 hours a month that Terry's talking about. So 1 hour per business day during the month, that's 20 days, 1 hour a day. That's going to make a huge impact on your SEO so long as you know what you're doing. But please continue, Robbie.
Sure. Okay, so now we have 7 different methods to merge your SEO and content marketing. The first of which is using Wikipedia to your advantage. So Wikipedia, a lot of times the knowledge graph, it's a little pop-up on the right side. Sometimes when you Google something, you'll see a knowledge graph. Like, let's see, how about like Seth Green? So you'll have a knowledge graph here, and it'll be all about Seth Green. A lot of times this will come from, it'll come from all different sources. IMDb, Wikipedia, you can see right here is one of the main sources. So they use a few different ones. So if you want your company to show up here, it's kind of like a free real estate right here. Getting a page on Wikipedia for your brand is not always something that's easy to do, but if you have an existing one, make sure that you can tweak that, and it's one of the best sources really to get some high quality traffic. You can also get backlinks from it. So if you have a page on your website about a super high relevant keyword, and that can show up on Wikipedia, and it can show up on Google on the knowledge graph. So Wikipedia is definitely a huge source for getting a little bit more exposure. blogs. So if you have an existing blog, we want to make sure that we improve it. I would recommend blogging like at least twice a month, if not every week. And the more you blog, the better. But you just have to make sure that you have very interesting topics that are centered on the keywords. So it has to be optimized with your pictures and everything. But you have to make sure that you also update your blogs, which is actually what I did for this blog. So you'll see in a minute where the updates were. I did put a little bit more bullet points for the summaries. I put more headings. I put some more like kind of leaders, like your goals and all of these kinds of things to make it. I put more pictures so that it looks a little bit more modern, or a little bit updated with the current trends for blogging, because it's constantly changing. All right, quality content before quantity. So each of your service or product pages should have 300 to 600 words. But you also want to exceed your competitors. So the whole key to SEO is exceeding what your competitors do. Once you have these, you also have to update it constantly. So just make sure that your pages are you can do very specific blogs or specific pages, and you'll get very high relevancy traffic. So if you have a page all about selling cars, instead of just selling cars, you could, let's say you had a lot of cars, and you sold both used cars and you sold new cars, and you sold 3 different brands. If you had a different page on your site for all of those items, you're going to rank much better in the long tail keywords. So a short tail keyword would be like cars or buy cars. A long tail keyword would be like buy new and used Nissan cars at an affordable price, or something like that. So you want long tail keywords are going to have less traffic though, but they could end up giving you more people to your site because it's so specific. All right, frequently asked questions. This is something we do on our site, awesomedynamic.com, and for all of our products and services, so that you can it's an easy way to update your pages. You can assign this to someone on your staff, maybe someone that works at the front desk, or someone who's an intern, and all you do is answer one question, let's say every day or every week, so we can continually update these product and service pages. Just one question, rotating on all the pages would make a huge difference in your SEO.
Wanted to hop in on that one, Robin.
Sure.
That's actually helped us with some of the ranking that we've had for the key term Amazon Seller Consulting. So we're ranking on the first page of Google for that, and one of the reasons is because we're constantly, I think it's 2 or 3 times a week, adding FAQs to our Amazon Seller Consulting page. So in the search results, at least sometimes when I search, it'll say 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So and the other results don't have that. So Google's actually noticing how recently my pages are being updated, or this particular page is being updated, and they're giving me a great ranking as a result. So that frequently updated content on a regular basis is something that can really help you gain a great ranking for a particular keyword and give you an edge over your competition. And it doesn't have to be a really complicated process. I have 2 of my employees write just a really quick snippet on something related to Amazon. It's just 1, 2, or maybe 3 sentences to answer a question, and we just put that at the bottom of the page. And when we fill up that page with a whole bunch of stuff, we can use that content and move it somewhere else and create a whole nother article on it. But the point is, it's constant content creation. It's different, it's fresh, and it's constantly happening on the website. But we're doing it in a process that makes it really easy. Go ahead, Robin.
All right, that's a great point, is the frequency really makes a difference to Google, and they crawl your site more often because of that. And on the other side, on the more human side of SEO, you're answering people's real questions, and they'll be more likely to call you, or if they're looking for information, to keep you in mind in the future. So, or on the phone, it could also save you time, because you've already answered most of their questions, and now they're ready to do business with you. All right, so the 5th one here is target guest posting opportunities. This one is a great example of updating your blog and changes in SEO because guest posting used to be super popular when this blog was written 2 years ago, and now guest posting has kind of lost its its value. It's not really catching fire as much, and that's because pretty much everyone can guest post on other blogs, and it's not really as good as the backlinks and quality content on your website. So guest posting is still okay, but it's not going to get you as much credit as it did 2 years ago. So you can see for updating this blog, we have the original content here and then the update here. I wouldn't say really low quality linking. It's just not as good as other links. So.
It's so 2 years ago.
Sorry?
I said it's so 2 years ago.
Yes, it's so 2 years ago. Guest posting. Another thing that goes along with this is guest comments or blog comments. You used to be able to just blog on any different kind of blogs that were related to your industry and put a comment in there, backlink to your website, and that was considered great. You'd get a lot of credit from Google. Now Google's kind of catched on, and that's or caught on, and then that's like something that is not worth as much as it used to be. So SEO is constantly changing, which is why if you feel like you finished your SEO, I mean, tomorrow there could be a major change.
One thing I wanted to comment on that with the guest posting opportunities is that one of the reasons why it's considered low quality is because the content itself is low quality. So yeah, I've had several folks reach out to me and say, hey, I'll write a blog post for you relevant to your topic, and if you want, you can write a topic and put it on my site. And I responded with, that's kind of detrimental to SEO because neither of us actually gain any ranking benefit for that link exchange. And I don't know if what they're going to write is actually what I really want on my site, and if it's actually going to help me rank for anything on my site. So there's a lot of quality issues there that go into it. It might seem like a good idea, like, oh wow, someone's going to write a piece, and I just have to put it on my site. I get fresh new content, great. But is it really relevant to what you do? And is their site a good high domain authority website that you should be linking to? If it's not, you could actually have an adverse effect as a result. So there's definitely some additional considerations to look into than just jumping in and going for it right away. So yeah, Robin, you want to bring us to number 6, or you have a comment on that?
Oh yeah, there also might maybe an issue with too many authors on your site, because then Google won't trust it as much.
That's right.
All right, number 6.
Robin, if I could just jump in for one quick second before, I just wanted to remind everybody that's watching that they can definitely reach out through Google Hangouts and ask questions. Also, just want to take a quick second. We jumped right into content. Make sure that everybody who's watching knows about the services that we offer. So just quickly, the main thing we do here at Awesome Dynamic is to get you new targeted customers, which is what we're talking about here with SEO. We build a great website for you, a responsive website as well. We are Amazon seller consultants, can help you with that. And we do the Google virtual tours. So something else that will not only get your business some extra exposure, but help with your SEO as well. So I wanted to make sure we just quickly cover that. And then, Robin, I want to jump right back to you and let you keep on going.
That moment brought to you by Awesome Dynamic. Thank you.
That's awesome.
All right, next we got here, remain indirect conversion focused. Now that sounds probably really complicated, but what that means is that you want to, SEO is not a magic tool that's going to work right away, such as like AdWords works, instantly. People see it, go to your site, but when you stop paying, it goes away. SEO takes time to build, but you'll see better results over time. So if you sign up for an SEO program or you're doing SEO, it really takes at least 4 to 6 months to really start seeing some major differences. But you're going to start seeing it quickly. I always like to compare it to like a workout program. If you work out for one day or for a week, you probably won't see results. But if you work out for 3 or 4 months, then you're going to start seeing the results. One thing that people do a lot, and this is a great example of old SEO techniques, is they'll be so focused on trying to rank for these keywords that they won't have great page content. So you want to make sure that you're writing for your audience, for people that are actually coming to your site, that are spending time on your site, because it's really obvious to both humans and Google and search engines when you just have one keyword that keeps repeating in every sentence or every, in every paragraph. It's too much. So you definitely want to vary that keyword and make sure you're writing for things that make sense, not just for writing for search engines. All right, cross-linking. So this one is very interesting because you can add the content to your site all you like, but you really need to get links to your site and to increase your what's called, every website has like a website score. That's like your domain authority, or page rank, or different measurements of how your page does online. So in order to make that higher, a big way to do it is links. So you want to make sure that you have links to other sites, but you also want to make sure that these links have something called anchor text. So anchor text is just this blue underline stuff. See, like right here, this quick sprout, that's an example of anchor text. So when in doubt, you want to make sure that your anchor text on other websites that link back to your site, just go with your brand name, any kind of version of your brand name. Here's a bunch of examples. BestUsedCars.com, Best Used Cars, Best Used Cars Inc. with a period, Best Used Cars Inc. without a comma or a period. So those are all brand name examples. So you can use, so that's a recent change as well. It used to be you have to be very consistent with your brand name. Now what they're saying, and this is just for linking, not for citations. For linking back on anchor text, you can use all different kinds of variations because it looks more natural to Google. I mean, the chances that 100 bloggers that all got your same press release, or news sources that got your same press release, that they all write the http://www version of your website is very unlikely. Most likely they'll have different versions of your name out there. So that's why Google's looking for something very natural in the backlinks.
Can I hop in on that one, Robin?
Yeah.
All right. So it used to be the focus, and this is like maybe 4 years ago. The focus for backlinking was just having the anchor text be the key word that you want to. The keyword that you want to rank for. So if you had a whole bunch of links coming back and the anchor text for those links was used cars Chicago, for example, and you had like 3,000 links that said used cars Chicago, and those links were anchor text coming back to your website, that used to work phenomenally well. Well, Google's caught on to that idea, and they said that is not natural. That's not natural shared content. And the idea is the backlink is supposed to be coming from this great quality content that's on your website. So if that is the way the links are supposed to be generated, is this great quality content, someone stumbles across it, they think it's great, they go to their website and say, hey, you got to check out this great thing I saw over there, or read this, and that's the words that are anchor text back to you, or from Best Used Cars Inc. So that's the natural way backlinking happens. So Google's actually paying attention to how that anchor text looks on all these different sites. So it could be your brand name, it could be different versions of how your brand name works, it could be the actual URL of your website, it could be the anchor text could include the keyword that you want to rank for, it could include the words like click here or read this. Those are variations. So really what we're looking for, just like investments, you want to have a diverse variety of investments to round out your portfolio: stocks, bonds, savings, real estate, cash, all these different things. You want the same kind of diversity in your backlink profile and have a lot of those. And that's what's really going to help you in a major part of SEO that helps you rank. I wanted to mention that we do have a question from Jill that she asked, but I want Robin to wrap this up with any final comments, and we'll definitely get into your question, Jill. Go ahead,
Sure.
Robin.
I would say, just as a final note on all of these items, is that it's kind of like hiring an accountant. I mean, you want to know the numbers, you want to know what your balance sheet means, but to get into the nitty-gritty details, that's where you want to hire an SEO. It's definitely something that you should know the basics of at least, but then when you're really getting into it, make sure either your team's well trained by a professional, or you have a full-time staff member, or you hire an SEO company, because you could be doing damage to your site.
Great, thank you, Robin. We also got another question from Sam R. So I'll answer both those questions right away. And Sam's question is actually really quick, so I'll answer that first. I'll put that up on the board here. She says, "Hello, is this going to be uploaded to YouTube for future reference?" And the answer is yes. Every single webinar we do is on our YouTube channel. Also, you'll see our new website's actually launching next week, and there's going to be a webinars button right at the top of the page. But on this website that you're seeing on Robin's screen, go ahead and scroll down, Robin. If you go, there's a button that says Past Webinars, and if you click on that, you can see every webinar we've done since last October, and we do them every single week. So you can watch a lot of other great content there. So yes, you definitely watch those webinars from the past, and please do so and join us for the ones in the future. Thank you, Sam. And please let us know if you have any specific questions that we can answer for you. Moving on, Jill says, where do you put anchor text? In a paragraph? So I will demonstrate anchor text. How's that sound, Robin?
Perfect.
All right. Let me get a screen clear here. And then I'll put my screen up to show you how this works. So screen 1, and then I'm going to present my screen instead of Robin's, and we'll workshop this. So I'm going to show you the technical way of how it works, and then I'm going to show you how it's easy with a website builder like WordPress.
And then I'm going to put it in a layman's terms.
Yes, exactly. So, okay, so right here, this is a program called Dreamweaver that lets me put code in, and it makes a website look nice on the right side here. So basically, we're seeing a split view. Here's the code, and this is what it looks like on this side. So so she said in a paragraph. So hello, this is a link to another website, and I'm going to put this here, and we can see that this text right here shows up. All right, and there's no link here. And what I want to do is I want to anchor text. I want link to be the anchor text here. So this way, when someone clicks on this, they go to wherever that link is. So right here, I'm going to, in the code, so from the coder's perspective, I actually have to type a href. I'm going to have it linked to /awesomedynamic.com / and I'm going to end that initial part of the code tag, and I'm going to end it up with this one. So basically, this word link is wrapped with this beginning A tag and this ending A tag, and this is sending the person to awesomedynamic.com. Okay, and the words link, because it's between these two elements, is what the anchor text is. When I click over here, you'll see it turns blue, and if I were to look at this as a web page, I could click on this and it would bring me directly to awesomedynamic.com. Now, the way I showed you how to do that is how coders used to do it a long time ago. I want to show you how we do it on our well, before I show you how we do it on our website builder, I also want to show you that we can change this to be anything. So we could say here is, let's see, here is a link. I'm going to put that over there. Oops. It's here. And I'm going to say to Awesome Dynamic.
So this example is on a blog page?
It could be anywhere that exists, anywhere on any page of any website. So you can see here, it says here's a link to the Awesome Dynamic website. And notice that Awesome Dynamic are the words that turn blue, and that's because it's wrapped in this link that goes to awesomedynamic.com. Or I can say, hello, here is a link to, I'm going to say, this is what people used to do like 4 years ago, web design, that's what we want to rank for, services. And this is what they don't want to see you doing as much anymore. But see how the words web design are linked right here? That's the anchor text. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is the link goes to Awesome Dynamic, whether it said the word link, whether it said Awesome Dynamic, or whether it said web design. But you could see in all three instances that I demonstrated here, they all go back to awesomedynamic.com if I had clicked on them. So really the anchor text is the linked text, and that's what that really means. So should we try this on something that doesn't look like ugly code that's hard to understand? How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I wanted to show you what's under the hood here, and how it works, and it is kind of simple. It's just who's going to remember all that code? So what I'm doing is I'm logging into our WordPress website, and I'm going to show you how we can just slap that onto a page in a visual way. So I'm going to go back to the home page of our website. And what I'm going to do is down here we have this, we're awesome, here's why, and we have some text here. So I'm going to just pick one of these words and I'm going to link it. So in our website, I'm going to go to the home page here. And once we get there, I'm going to launch the page builder. And this page builder is really cool. It's a page builder that allows us to drag and drop content on the front end of the website and make edits where we just highlight something and tell it where to link to. And that's something that really should be in any website today, because it's just so easy to do websites when you don't have to look at all that crazy code. So here's that element. See how I'm just highlighting over it? I have all these elements on my page, and I can just edit these. But I'm going to click on this one. It's going to open up the information that I want to edit, and then I can actually choose to say we are experts, and I'm going to link that text by just clicking this link box, and I'm going to have that link to, let's say, I'm going to have it linked to my LinkedIn page. LinkedIn. Okay. Go there. I'm going to grab this link. I'm copying it.
Yeah, and when you're in that edit box, you can click see that gear, and it'll open up the full box.
Right, and then I can go to open it in a new tab, update, save, and see how it's blue now? After it refreshes here, see how it's a blue link now? And if I hit done, publish, now that's how easy it is today with the proper software on your website to edit and update things like that and put an anchor text link. So now the We Are Experts text here, once it refreshes, will be linked to this other to my LinkedIn page. And that blue text, I just click on it and it brings me right to the LinkedIn page. I think I have to flush the cache here, but that's the concept.
Every page on your site that you want to rank should have one internal link and one external link, but I've recently read that a lot of SEOs are starting to say that 2 or 3 internal links and 1 external link is really the better way to do it.
Cool. And every blog that you write, Robin, including the one that you just wrote, you have an external link on this page.
Definitely, yeah.
And here's one, marketing and SEO. This is an internal link going to our SEO services. And where's your external? Here it is, backlinking strategies. This actually goes to another blog of ours.
And then there should be, Quick Sprout's the external.
So this just pops over to another page. Jill has another question. Let me see what she says here. She says, so do you do that on your webpage or on other things like email blasts, so you're directing the link back to the website? Well, depends on what we're trying to do here. So if the idea is we want the backlinks to help us move up in the search results, you need them to be on publicly available websites, and you want them to be there forever. So it's not only to help people direct them back to your website, but it's also a signal that Google sees that, hey, there's some stuff at this website and a lot of people are linking to it. Maybe we should move it up in the search results for the different things that they should be found for. So by sending something out in an email blast, that's not publicly available on the internet, and therefore Google doesn't crawl it. So putting a whole bunch of backlinks in your email blast isn't going to help you rank higher on Google, but it does give people a convenient way to click on something to get to certain areas in your website. I hope that answers your question well.
So I just wanted to say that it is easy to make links to other sites, but what's hard is to get other sites to link to you. So there's tons of different ways to do that, and if we go back to my screen here.
Yep, I switched it back for you.
Okay, so here's just some ideas on how to get a couple of backlinks. I've got a few different backlink articles to generate those. So first off, having really high quality content, maybe some different tools on your website or things that people want to link to, that's the most natural way of getting backlinks. Have you ever written a blog article and you're like, okay, I gotta link to this one article because it's great and it's all about what I wanted to talk about anyway, or it's got some more great information? Well, your website needs to be that website, the one with all the great information that people link to. So that's one way to get backlinks. Another way is to just call people up, call bloggers, call people in your industry, ask them, can you give me a backlink on your website? The point is you want to get high quality backlinks. So if it's your friend's website and they have 3 people on their website reading their blog every month, that's not really a high quality website. You want something, if you could get a backlink from local newspapers, if you volunteered with your business for charity events or things like that, if you can get backlinks from those websites, your local chambers, those are another place to get a backlink. Sometimes you can even set up your own backlink on your local chambers. So to get backlinks is very difficult. If you could get even just 2 backlinks every month, that would be a big win for a smaller local business.
Yeah, I mean, even doing charity events for if you can get a backlink from a website that has a .edu or .gov ending, those count as much as like 30 or 40 or 50 or even 100 backlinks from .coms because they're so hard to get. Not anyone can get a .edu or .gov, and the people that do don't just backlink to people all willy-nilly. So if you're able to do something for, let's say, an educational institution, college, or something like that, you can do something for them and say, as a result of me, let's say, doing some free photography for this college event, would you mind doing a press release on your website? You could write the whole thing for them, kind of like the guest blogging thing, but make it something that's valuable to them, and then in it include a link that comes back to your website. That would be huge if you could put something like that together, and it's worth the time and energy to do so. Robin, anything else you want to cover on this, or do you think we should move along, Terry?
I think it's time to move along. I think, Robin, anything you need to just sum things up with, or where are we?
No, we kind of moved into backlinks, but that's okay. We backlinks we could talk about forever. So
I bet you could.
Let's go ahead and move on.
All right, fair enough. So we have, as we usually do, we have a feature for today on someone who wants us to have a look at their online presence. So we're going to dig in here to our See Me pedestrian reflectors, and want to do just our first round of sort of just evaluation of what we're seeing. And I also want to remind everybody who's watching to go ahead, jump in. We love the questions. You guys are throwing some great questions out there. The more the merrier on the questions. So feel free. Don't be bashful. So, Robin, did you want to jump on this first and have a little peek at it?
Sure. All right. So I can see we have pedestrian reflectors there. Very self-explanatory, I think. They sell reflectors that you have on you. This picture definitely demonstrates that right away, so definitely not confused on the product. Instead of the car here, maybe I would do a person with reflectors on, but I can see why they have the cars, because that's the main thing you're trying to prevent injury from. I would say the slideshow is all different sizes, maybe making this just one size so that all the pictures are consistent. I do like this text over here. This one's probably a little bit long. If we can shorten up some of this text so it's more like this, like a really short sentence to read. But yeah, the pictures definitely portray what your product is all about. Let's see. We can go up to here. We can see that if we want to call, we can see it right away. I would probably make this even bigger because you want them really to see your phone number right away. I know you do have the contact us, but just clicking, and this is clickable, so that's great. This in the slideshow, this text is actually not readable by Google and search engines. So if you can make this text real text, that would help you rank as well because it's high up on the page there. And it's just an extra opportunity for that. And let me go back down to 100%. Or no, I was at 100%. Okay, so this is what people see. I have a bigger monitor, so sometimes you'll get cut off right here. So you definitely want people to at least see, I would say, these 4 buttons before they have to scroll down. So right now we're only seeing here, and probably on most monitors it's just about cut off right here.
That's about where I am, just so you know. Not even getting the some of that text is even coming through on the pictures for me.
Okay, yeah. So that would definitely be an improvement you can make today. And then, so I can see we have hard reflectors, soft, slap wraps, retail custom orders. Why not throw those up here so people can see your products right away? Because they know you're going to have an about page. They know they're going to be able to contact you and that you're going to have a blog here. But really, we want this to be your main items. So that's one opportunity. It's a trend in websites where you have only your main services across here, and then all this stuff can go up here on a secondary menu, or it could be on the side. So a lot of different options you can do. But you definitely want what you're selling to be at the forefront here. So you're really not selling these items. All right, and then I like the amount of text you have here, that you have a video so that you can see it in action right away. Maybe even having a person or the owner talking about it would be great. Maybe a personalized story. I like these headers here. I would say, I mean, this is optional, but maybe making the headers a different color just to visually break it up a little bit more. That matches your logo. So maybe like this blue color, or maybe this blue color. And then I can see that some of these pictures, okay, so they're dark on purpose so that you can see the reflectors. I think that's a nice effect there. This one could be a little bit brighter, like how this one is. But yeah, the recommendation is about 1,500 words on the home page. Probably a little bit short on that, but definitely could add more on there. But yeah, overall, pretty effective website. And I'll let you guys go ahead and take a stab at it.
I was going to turn it over to Paul, but I did want to say that one of the things that we want to talk about here is, I guess we're on a big commerce platform here, Paul, and talk about, because we want to get into some SEO and see what kind of online presence we're dealing with, but there's going to be some limitations SEO-wise on this platform. I wonder if you might be able to delve into that a little bit as well.
Sure. So I think if I remember correctly, this website is built in the Shopify platform. And there's certain things that when you use a third-party platform that you pay a monthly fee for, like Wix, I think Shopify is that way, and there's many others that are out there. You're always going to run into some limitation. You won't be able to customize every single aspect of the site. And I've always run into a barrier of how far you can go with your SEO when you don't have a site that's completely customizable. The platform that we use is WordPress, and the reason, and that's an open source website software. Another couple that are out there are Joomla and Drupal. I'd say those are probably the 3 most popular WordPress content management systems, or CMSs, that are out there. But those allow for full control over every aspect of anything that you want to control on the entire website. These other third-party platforms where you're actually logging into somebody else's site to customize your site will always offer some sort of limitation that you can't go past. So when working on your SEO for your website, just know that you're gonna run into a brick wall at some point in time, and maybe that's gonna be a big deal, and maybe it isn't, and that's all going to be dependent on your competition and how far you're able to move up through the rankings. So when you are working on your SEO and you get to a point where you can't go any farther, you might at that point consider switching over. But there are incredible amount of resources with WordPress. You saw me demonstrate how to do a permalink. It was all drag and drop at the front end, so it's actually really easy to use. So when I do meet with people and we talk about the idea of going down the road of doing some SEO, I always talk about the idea of establishing a great foundation in a WordPress framework, so this way you have all the tools available to you to do the best job with SEO possible, and that's where we really like to see people start. But just want to have that caveat in there that certainly isn't necessarily necessary to get started. Terry, before I take a shot at some of the different comments I had on this website, did you want to say some things about some changes you'd like to make?
Well, I think Robin covered, you guys know me if you've been on this webinar before. I'm all about the call to action, and although I see it up there, I'm not happy with the size of it. I'm not happy with where it is. I always like a big button that says, call for a quote or contact or something really bold and distinct. And I see that.
Where do you see it?
Pardon me?
Where do you see the call to action?
Well, you have the call number here.
Okay.
Up there. So it is there, but it's not there the way I want to see it. So I'd like it to be, somehow I always see it in the right-hand top corner usually, and big, and in a different color, so that it's just, screaming at you, because that's the whole object of our exercise here of having this website. So that's my main thing. It's always my main concern. The other thing, I know Robin's going to go back in, but I want to make sure where we are in our page speed and on our mobile friendly and see what we're doing there.
And before we hop in there, Terry, the call to action on a shopping cart website really should be to buy the products. That's right. What we want them to do. So she probably doesn't really want a whole bunch of people calling her if they can get to the products and buy right now. So if they've come to the website because they're looking for products, I don't get the feeling right away where I should go to buy the products. Obviously, the first item on the navigation says products, but what I would do is get that Visa, MasterCard, and American Express thing out of there, because it doesn't really matter. People just expect that automatically. Get that out of there and put a giant button in its place that says Shop Now. Mm-hmm. And make it red, white, your red button, white text like your Proceed to Checkout button. Put that big bold at the top, Shop Reflectors Now. Because if I've come there and I'm expecting to find reflectors, I want to know where I go to shop. And right now you're making me look, and it takes time. And people are impatient when they're on the web. Robin, what do you think about that?
It's good that you have PayPal here, because I know a lot of people are more likely to buy with that if they don't have to dig out their credit card. But yeah, that's too many clicks to get there. So you definitely want like a Buy Now button here, or getting to the cart faster, definitely something on the front page. And I was going to say, this is a huge advantage here, this free shipping on orders over $30. If I'm at $25 and I know I can get shipping at $30, I mean, put that right at most retail sites have the free shipping amount at the top here.
That's a really good point, Robin.
Yeah, and that's something you got to scroll down and look for, and that should be something that you can see right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I swear we've covered so many sites where it is up at the upper right. Free shopping, when you hit $30, shop now, and it's all right there in the upper right on every single page.
And here's what you're missing in this menu here is you need another page for custom, because right here you say, do you need custom? Okay, contact us. But why not just have a whole page about how examples of custom you've done in the past, how many order you can do, how many numbers you can do, how long it takes, your lead times, just more information. Because otherwise, the only option I have is just to contact you. And if I want more information before that, I'm not going to be able to get it. I'll go on to the next site probably.
And that separate page for custom would allow that to be ranked somewhere and for people to directly find that.
So a lot of this stuff is just strategy. You know, what are your customers looking for? Have you looked at other high-end retailer sites? How do they organize the content? Just because they're big and they have multi-million-dollar budgets doesn't mean you can't use the time and energy they put into their strategic layout of their website and use that for yours. So if you look at some of the bigger retailers, they've got a marketing department of people who look at this stuff and they actually test what works best or what doesn't, and they modify the site as a result. So you have about the reflectors, about our company, news, contact us. Let's get that out of the bar, maybe up at the right, more discreet, and let's get those items that are under products right across that blue bar, so I can see the things that you want to sell me right now, and I don't have to drop down to see some of the different options that I have. Because right now, I have to hover over it to see, and until Robin did it, I didn't even know that you had some of the different options that are there.
All right, that's very good. So should we jump in and check the mobile friendly and the page speed?
Sure. Just one more comment. I would say maybe have a page for other uses. You can put them on your bike. You can put them on, on, let's say, like that baby carriage. You could put it on a whole bunch of stuff besides just pedestrians. So one more thing to think about. And then mobile friendly test. Congratulations, you've passed. So.
Look at Robin still using that old mobile friendly test, huh?
Oh yeah.
I used the new one on the webinar earlier today that I was a guest on.
Yeah, what's the link to that one?
If you Google, go to Google and type in Google Search Console mobile friendly test.
I was looking for it before this webinar, and I was like,
and it's like yeah, it's that one.
All right, so go ahead and.
That's the one that was just released, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I was like, I know there's a new one. All right. And while we look at that, we can see your page speed insights score. It looks like you have 75 out of 100 on mobile, and 39 out of 100 on desktop, which is unusual. We can go ahead and look at those. All right, so it looks like you are mobile friendly. This is what your site would look like, but you have one blocked resource.
And she's on BigCommerce. That's what it is. So whether or not that's a big deal is something to be looked into, but you actually have a good score here. But if you look at the visual representation of what it looks like on the phone, I don't have any idea what you do visually, and that slideshow's not there. I'm not getting any visuals that I probably should get right away. So that's something else that you would need to address on the mobile version of the site. Let's take a look at those page speed insights, see where that desktop score is so low.
And while we're doing that, we should probably reiterate that generally speaking, somewhere over 60% of all searches now are on some kind of mobile device. So the way it looks on there is of utmost importance. What's going on here?
Some of the images need to be compressed. They'll be the same size on the website, but just the actual files will need to be smaller. That will help you a lot with your speed as well. And then eliminate render blocking JavaScript and CSS in above the fold content. So, Paul, did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so eliminate eliminate the render blocking JavaScript?
Well, this is how to fix it, yeah.
Okay, so taking a look at some of the options here, basically render blocking JavaScript means just different stuff that's keeping the website from loading right away. So right now there's a BigCommerce file that ends in foundation.js, and there's also, and that's from BigCommerce. You should contact them and say, I want that to load in the footer of the site. That probably does something with the animation of how your menu drops down or has some other effect on your slideshow. That code does not need to be priority and loaded at the very top of the page. It can definitely be put at the bottom, and the page text and initial photos can be loaded right away so people can see it. and then later the code that makes the slideshow run can be loaded later. And we're talking about within the first 1 second and the last second of loading, but Google sees that as a big deal. When somebody's on a 3G connection on their mobile device, this could be, instead of loading the site in 3 seconds, it might be taking 7 seconds. And if your site is trying to load this JavaScript file first and not show the user anything on their phone, it's just a blank white screen until it loads that before it gets to all the text and pictures on your page. And that's why Google thinks that that's a priority to move that down to the bottom, because that person on the slower device needs to see something in the first 3 seconds, otherwise they're going to leave, and you're delivering a poor experience to your users. So that's why that's important to Google.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to discuss on this situation? Otherwise, Robin, did we do any looking around at any of their search results at all to see how they're doing?
Yeah, just to let you know really quick, your page load time is about 3 seconds. So really you want to see this at, what is it, 2 seconds, Paul?
Well, ideally 3 seconds or less is good. The faster, the better. So, and this also gives you some specific items here. It says defer parsing of JavaScript. We're on gtmetrics.com, so you could run the same test on your site if you like. But it gives you grades on each of the different items and where you can improve and exactly what should be improved. So you can go to BigCommerce and show them this report and say, fix these things for me. I don't know if they're going to do it, but that's something that you can pursue and see if they'll do. And then go over to the waterfall there. I like taking a look at this, because when you're taking a look at this waterfall, you can see what things are causing it to load for 3 seconds. And the one thing that jumps out of me right away is we see that indent of a whole bunch of things after the first thing. That means there's something that's taking about a half a second to load before the site even starts loading. And if you hover over that item that's on the left there where it says get www.pedestrian reflectors, so this is actually your server response time. So someone types it in, and the first thing that happens is the server thinks about it for almost a half a second. So then hover over that purple bar, Robin, to the right of that. And it says, you can see what the purple bar means, waiting. So you can see connecting took 57 milliseconds, and it sat there and waited for 394 milliseconds before it started loading anything. And the whole waiting before the server even connected and got to the browser to load all that stuff that's underneath is on your provider. So you should call BigCommerce and ask, why is your website service, my website hosting service, taking a half a second before it's showing my visitors anything? This needs to be instant. It needs to be lowered, and this is unacceptable. So that's something that they need to work on their end to figure out what server configuration needs to be changed to get the site to load faster.
And what if they say we can't do anything about it? Then what should you do?
Well, that's where you reconsider your hosting provider and website provider. So yeah, there's certain things that you can do. If you can live with a 3 second loading site, which I'm sure you can, it's fine. But I do have some clients that are very aggressive about this, and they want their site to load in less than a second. And half a second load just to start for the server to respond is just unacceptable for them. But in a more competitive environment, when you're competing against tons of people who are doing the same SEO stuff, this could be a huge difference maker. But if your competition isn't super aggressive, this might not be such a big deal. But it's worth calling them and asking them to see if they can do something about it.
Yeah, a half a second doesn't seem like a huge deal when you're looking on your phone, but it is, because you can lose even a second or half a second. You can lose a lot of the traffic that is clicked onto you, and then in turn, what happens? It's really a domino effect. So if people get to they find your site on Google, they click on your site. If it doesn't load in time, they click off of your site. So what happens then is that means you have a bounce. That's your bounce rate. So if a ton of people do that, you have a really high bounce rate, and then Google's going to rank you lower, then you're going to get less traffic, and then you're not going to have as many sales. So this half second could be a huge deal.
Now I want to point out one other thing, Robin. Scroll down the page just a little bit. That one that says 287 milliseconds. And it says, oh no, it's a seal, that one that's 1.54 seconds. See that? You have some GoDaddy seal sitting on your website that's taking almost 2 seconds to load, and it's pushing out all that stuff that's to the right of it, down at the bottom. I would just delete that thing. Does the seal do anything for you? I doubt it does. It might just be a feel-good thing for visitors when they come to the site, but that seal is causing a huge load issue. I don't see
You're
it on the
talking like a
page.
badge, right?
Yeah, there's something somewhere on your site that's causing that, so you gotta take that thing out. Get the sniper rifle out and shoot that seal out, because that's causing 2 seconds of load time. Your site could be loading in 1 second if you got rid of that.
All right, so I have this tool here from Bright Local. Where do we want to search from?
Let's
And what do we
search
want to
from. Where do you think, Terry?
Well, this is actually in Canada. So I don't know the town. I'm not sure exactly where she's at town-wise. I don't think we have that info.
Let's say we're in Winnipeg. I got family that's in Winnipeg.
All right.
Yeah, all right. And then what's the search term? Pedestrian.
Pedestrian reflectors.
Perfect.
All right. Let's check.
On that note, not knowing where they're at, I noticed that on the contact page. There's a form to fill out information, but there's no, besides the header, name, address, phone number to contact them at, or an embedded Google map to give anyone any sort of idea where you're located. I think that's quite important and to be considered.
Thank you, Blake. So what are our search results, Robin?
All right. We do see pedestrian reflectors is #1, and that could be a number of reasons, mostly because I would say your brand name is right in the URL there, and you have it, let's see, you actually don't have the words pedestrian reflectors in your title tag here, but throughout your site you do. You have the word safety reflectors. It looks like it's picking up as your keyword here. So that would be interesting if we put in safety reflectors. And we can see that we have, let's see if it went back. I think I have to go back to here to do that. So we can search from Canada. All right, so safety reflectors.
I changed your country there, the little drop down.
Okay. There we go. All right, so we can see that you're #2 here. You have Wikipedia as #1.
So you're coming up good for a couple of key terms right out the gate there, locally. But Robin, search from your location.
And look at this date too, 2014. So you want to update that.
Mm-hmm. Get some new content on the page.
All right, so now let's just open up a new tab. I'm going to search for pedestrian reflectors. All right.
Yeah, she's coming up really well for these terms. Yeah. There might be other terms. I know we're working with Elizabeth with Glimling, and we have a whole rank tracker full of terms. She was looking at, slap bracelets and all sorts of different types of reflectors and different keywords related to them. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We didn't have a chance to take a look at some of those searches, but that's something where it's good to know where you're at for everything, so you know where you need to go. Absolutely. Terry, you wanna wrap us up here?
I do, and I just wanted to say that Elizabeth is actually partnering with this site and Anna and Sophie, and that's how we got to be talking with her. So I wanted to always thank Elizabeth, and I want to wrap up by talking quickly again, because we jumped so much into our content and had so much, that we do get you targeted customers looking for exactly what you are selling or offering. We do that with responsive web design, search engine optimization. We will help you sell your products on Amazon, and we do the Google virtual tours as well. Whole idea here is new targeted customers looking for exactly what you offer. We would like to thank you for being here today. We also want to remind you that if you enjoyed and learned from what we did today, we would always love to have you go ahead and give us a 5-star Google review. Very important. We do appreciate that if you would. And anybody else want to chirp in before we sign off?
Robin, you want to show them where they go to leave that 5-star review on our website?
Sure, just scroll down to the bottom of awesomedynamic.com and press review us if you enjoyed this webinar, and leave us a 5-star review.
We also have our awesome list if you want to go ahead and get on our mail list so that we can send you some regular information to keep you up to speed. So at that point, I think it's that time. So we hope to see you next week. Thanks for coming. Bring your friends, bring your questions, and we'd love to entertain those questions next week. And again, thanks for coming to our Awesome Dynamic show. See you next week.